Yes, up next, we have a keynote presentation from Mr. Bashar Al Abdulhadi, who was the CTIO of KuwaitNet. This will be a keynote presentation enabling hybrid multi-cloud infrastructure with Red Hat. Yes, Mr. Bashar.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you everyone for attending my session. My name is Bashar Al Abdulhadi. I'm the founder and Chief Technology and Innovation Officer at KuwaitNet. Today we'll be speaking about enabling hybrid cloud and multi-cloud infrastructure with Red Hat using an open source technologies. Basically, there are a lot of technology vendors and, Red Hat, one of the leaders when it comes to load balancing, innovation and optimization when it comes to multi-cloud infrastructure. As you can have multiple, let's say, paths in your journey, you can stay in any path. For example, you're currently optimizing your IT infrastructure, or you want to integrate apps and data processes, or adding, your existing infrastructure to be a hybrid cloud, be it on-premise or on public cloud. And of course, building and modernizing your applications. A lot of people are modernizing their applications to be on the public cloud and the containerized platform. Today, I'll go, quickly. There are a lot of, cloud providers such as, AWS, IBM Cloud, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud, and these all new vendors and having their own, let's say, pros and cons. Some customers, such as public sector or private sector, are not sure which cloud provider to use. Should I use them all? Should I be with one cloud provider or use multi-cloud concept, which is using multiple cloud providers? There, when it comes Red Hat basically can give the enterprise the stability and cloud agility to move between cloud providers without a vendor lockdown. It also can give an additional, let's say, a layer of having the developer productivity instead of coding and having your setup using your own on-premise infrastructure or a public cloud provider. You have your own, let's say, platform to migrate your applications through cloud providers without having any vendor lockdown. And of course, the application capability where portability, you can port your applications from on-premise development environment and deploying it for production on public cloud with ease. Building the infrastructure with the enterprise open source technologies such as Linux and Kubernetes gives the flexibility without having, let's say, a vendor-specific technology. Be it if you're developing on Linux or Windows, you'll be able to migrate or deploy your application without any, let's say, control of being an OS restricted or a technology restriction. If you're developing on .NET or Python or even PHP or any technology, you'll be able to deploy without having, the common word which developer says it's working on my machine, but it's not actually working online. The idea of moving into, let's say, hybrid or multi-cloud concept is to be consistent from security perspective, from infrastructure perspective, even from management perspective. You reduce, as we said, the vendor lockdown. You have agility when it comes to business, and you can actually deploy your application without, having a lot of downtime. Scalability and elasticity, with the pandemic coming, a lot of customers, we had a government customer, which is in the educational sector. They didn't have an online educational, let's say, system to basically have the student, talk online or take the exams online and stuff like that. So when they migrated to the cloud, they had a great flexibility. They used to handle only 250 students on a time, and then they have the availability to have more than 74,000 students having online exams. So scalability during exams goes up, and whenever they finish the exam, it goes down. So it saves money actually on your infrastructure instead of paying for a huge infrastructure on premise. Speed of delivery, of course, one of the main benefits where developers can ship their applications immediately to public cloud, having an access, and definitely the global reach, where you can have your application deployed on multiple zones from cloud providers, be it in the Middle East or Europe or even the United States, for example. These are a few numbers or statistics. Has been, IDC has a study on AWS, for example, running OpenShift, which is the container platform from Red Hat. There has been an ROI over than 661% over the 5 years. And it pays back as short as 5 months instead of waiting for many months to pay back this, ROI. Plus, 45%, 54% lower 5 years cost of operations. More than twice the performance, new applications delivery per year, 24% higher application development productivity. There have been, estimated 32.9 million US dollars higher revenue per year per organization when you deploy on the hybrid cloud infrastructure. More than 80% less unplanned downtime because you split the load and split the development and deploying processes using DevOps. And lastly, 49% more efficient IT infrastructure for teams. The link is available on the presentation. If the organizers will share the slides, you can have the link for the IDC study and you can look further for the other details. Let's get started. Having the new era of cloud, you need, to have fast, and agility of innovation. Now, the concept of innovation is very tightly linked with the technology when it comes to companies working with technology, even the private and public sectors. So for faster IT service delivery, for flexible deliveries, be it on-premise or on public cloud, there are some policies in some countries where you're not allowed to deploy certain, let's say, customer information or citizen information on public clouds. So you deploy a hybrid cloud concept where you have the database running on-premise and you have application running on the cloud. And of course, the stability, all the public cloud providers are trusted by Fortune 500 customers worldwide to accelerate application delivery with hybrid cloud infrastructure from Red Hat, for example. Red Hat has the technology and the experience where you have the platform, where you can deploy, your operating system, for example, Windows or Linux. You have the process to create your strategy based on your business goals and workload types. And you promote the concept of DevOps. All entities now moving to the DevOps concept where you can deploy, projects and applications faster with ease. From Red Hat, we have 3 main products that we can focus on. Is the Red Hat OpenShift, which is the enterprise Kubernetes platform for accelerating application delivery. And we have RHEL, which is Red Hat Enterprise Linux, which is a leading operating system, which is an open source enterprise system. And we have Red Hat OpenShift container storage, which is, the storage that provides containerized software-defined storage to support OpenShift application once you migrate to the cloud. The layer, I don't want to dive so much here, so it's not Red Hat specific, but there are multiple layers when you deploy on the hybrid cloud management platform. You have the operating system level, you have the storage, when it comes from Red Hat OpenShift storage, and you have the OpenShift, which is the containers platform that you could run your cloud native application using AI, analytics, or IoT, applications. And of course, you could manage on different public clouds or private cloud. You can see here quickly on AWS, for example, where you can have your applications divided based on the OpenShift container platform, where you can manage and have the containers managing your base station, your infrastructure, dividing your platform, all managed by Red Hat container platform management on the public cloud. Of course, the consistency of the dispatching the cloud platforms. As I said earlier, all developers says, it's working on my machine, it's not working on the online platform on the server. So instead of having, this dilemma, usually whenever you have the containers platform, you have consistency in developer experience where they code, build, and deploy their, applications without, a huge, let's say, headache. The consistent of operational interfaces for automating operations. Of course, you have the tools that developers can use, and the operations team where they can actually have deploying these projects, be it on a single platform as an operating system like Linux or different operating system and cross all public platforms from a single. This is basically my slides. I wanted to have them short and quick. If there is any questions, or maybe if you guys want to jump for the second session, this is our contact information. We're happy to receive your questions and get in touch. My colleague Noor, it's from the marketing team. She's the marketing manager. You can have it scheduling teams using the Summit platform. Feel free to visit our page on the Summit platform and scheduling meetings with us, and we'll be more happy to meet you through the next 2 days. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Bashar. Thank you for the understanding.